Open a drawer in your grandmother's kitchen back in the 1960s, and you'd find tools nobody under 50 would even recognize today. The kitchen itself usually announced the decade before you even opened a cabinet. Avocado green, harvest gold, sometimes a burnt orange, and every appliance in the room matched on purpose. The can opener alone tells you everything about how that decade thought about progress. It got mounted right under the cabinet, and it opened a can with one push of a lever, which felt like the height of modern living. Before that, you cranked a manual opener by hand, and there was a whole rhythm to it, that metal grinding sound that meant dinner was close. Then there was the electric knife, which by 1971 had made its way into one out of every 3 American households. Dad would plug it in on Thanksgiving, make a whole production of it, and carve the turkey with 2 buzzing blades like he was performing surgery. Before mixers got common in every house, there was the rotary egg beater, just a hand crank and 2 spinning whisks. No motor, no plug, just elbow grease and a mother who could whip cream in under a minute flat. For the families who had one, the electric portable mixer came in colors like turquoise, pink, and yellow, sitting on the counter like a small appliance, and a fashion statement at once. The percolator sat on the stove every single morning, popping and burping away until the whole house smelled like coffee. Nobody measured grounds with a scale back then. You just knew by the sound when it was ready. The Sunbeam Radiant Control toaster didn't even need a lever. You dropped the bread in and it lowered itself, then rose back up on its own when it was done. It looked more like a piece of sculpture than a kitchen tool, chrome finish and all. Then there was the little orange peeler, a Tupperware staple that scored the rind with the hook on one end and split it clean off with the other. You'd find one in half the houses on the block, usually a party favor from somebody's Tupperware party the month before. Those Tupperware parties weren't really about the containers. They were an excuse for the women on the street to sit in somebody's living room for an afternoon. Avocados themselves were suddenly everywhere, and somebody invented a slicer just for them, with a serrated edge for cutting and a hook for popping out the pit. No potluck table was complete without a Jell-O mold sitting front and center, wobbling every time somebody set a dish down too hard. Fruit suspended inside, sometimes vegetables, sometimes things nobody today would think to put in gelatin at all. For a fancier dinner party, out came the fondue set, an enamel pot with a little flame burning underneath and long forks for everybody at the table. Cheese fondue for dinner, chocolate for dessert, and suddenly eating turned into the whole evening's entertainment. For the fanciest fruit salad on the block, there was the melon baller, twisted into a cantaloupe to scoop out little round spheres one at a time. And in 1067, a company called Amana put something on the market that nobody's kitchen had ever seen before, a countertop box that cooked food with radio wave. They called it the radar end, and most families thought it belonged in a science fiction movie, not on a kitchen counter. One by one, these tools got replaced by something faster, or something that did 5 jobs instead of 1. Most of them ended up in a box in the garage, or on a shelf at an estate sale, priced at $2 by somebody who had no idea what they used to mean to a whole kitchen. But if you grew up around any of these, you don't need the gadget in your hand to remember the sound of it, or the kitchen it used to sit in.